Hello, thank you for joining me on this very cold day. Today we've come to the beautiful English city of York. As you can see, some of the ground is still covered with snow. We're just standing by the River Ouse. There's a boat which is doing a commentary, which I'm sure is very interesting, but I hope you're going to be more interested in what I have to say, because I'm going to take you for a little walk around the museum gardens and show you some of York's historic buildings in this part of the city. So we're standing here by the River Ouse, which you can do cruise ships, or it's not really a cruise ship, you know what I mean, a boat rather, to show you the sights. So I might do that one day, but we're not doing that today. It seems a bit cold for that. Looking down the Ouse that way, you can see the bridge which carries the York to Scarborough railway over the River Ouse. Where we're going to go today is through these big gates here, and I'm going to show you around some interesting sights. So this is the museum gardens. So I'm going to go through here and go up this little path here, and I'm going to take you through. If you just look on the ground, you can see various stones from St Mary's Abbey, which we're going to go and see in a minute, but they've used them, looking back down the path, to edge the path, which is, I suppose, quite a nice idea if they've fallen off the Abbey. So first thing to see is the Hospitulum, I think that's how you say it. This is a 14th century building, and it's now a place for venues. You can hire it for wedding venues, etc. I'm just going to walk along this snow covered bank. There's a wind picking up, so I'm going to try and shout so you can hear me, because I haven't yet invested in a microphone. I know some of you have commented saying I should, and it is something I intend to do, I just haven't done it yet. So I'm just going to go along here and see down there some ruins. I'm going to take you down the steps over there. I'm going to walk through that arch. We're going to see a bit more of the museum gardens. So museum gardens are beautiful at any time of year, but today in the snow they really look quite different. You'd have thought by this time, early spring, there'd be daffodils out and snowdrops, etc., but not snowdrops, but snow covered ground we have. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to take you down through the arch, and we're going to see what else we can see. So the museum gardens, they belong to the Yorkshire Museum, which we will see any moment now. So the Yorkshire Museum is that building over there with the columns, which I don't think we'll go inside today, partly because I haven't actually checked if it's open or not, but I'm sure it probably is. It's open most weekends, but today we're just going to stay outside and brave the cold weather. So, with the Hospitulum behind me, we're now heading up through the park. Just over there is one of York's many churches. I've been in that one a few years ago. It slipped my mind as to which saint that church is dedicated to, but it's worth a look if you're visiting York, along with many other churches and historic buildings. So the main thing I wanted to show you today is here in front of me, St Mary's Abbey. This is the abbey that was built in York in a way to rival the Minster. Oh, there's some interesting plant I like. It's called Butcher's Broom. If you look closely, so I'm going off a bit of a tangent, these are not actually leaves, these are modified stems, so it's quite an unusual plant. Usually when you see it in a woodland, it's an indication of an ancient woodland, but I'm not sure here if this isn't really an ancient woodland, so whether it's been planted here, it's always grown here, I don't know. But anyway, the main point of coming here was to see the Abbey. So here we are. So imagine a big grand arch window in front of us, possibly towers. This would have been the big grand western front of the Abbey, and just over there is the Yorkshire Museum. So it really is very large and impressive. So this abbey, it was, by the 13th century, the abbey became very wealthy. So they began building this big grand church, which we're just coming into now. It was completed in 1294, but familiar story with most abbeys, it was dissolved by Henry VIII. So it was in about, I believe, the 1530s the monastery was dissolved. So we now have this rather lovely ruin abbey, and I said over there is the Yorkshire Museum. So we would have sort of been walking up the nave, but understandably the grass is fenced off, so I'm going to walk around the outside of the nave. So what I'm walking in now would have been the south aisle, and then if we have a look over there, the surviving set of Gothic windows is what would have been the north aisle. And then coming to here, imagine the area there in front of us, that would have been the crossing with the south transept there, where the Yorkshire Museum is, and the north transept behind the tallest of the surviving columns. Imagine a huge arch coming from the top of that column across with another large, you can just see the base of the other three large columns. So that is the crossing, and then looking back down the Abbey church, you can imagine looking down to a rather large window. So I'm going to take you through here and we'll have another look, see what's down this end of the Abbey. It's actually quite interesting here. You can see how they've marked out where some chapels would have been, and then we go through here, we can actually stand in where the crossing would have been. So there's the Abbey, as I said, that tallest surviving column. I'm now standing in the crossing here, so as I said, we've got that column there, and then its other three, one there, bit slightly more of one here, and a bit less of one there. They are the columns. And then down here, this would have gone right up to the end of the church, up to the high altar. You'd have had the south transept there, the north transept over there where those chapels come off, and there would have also been cloisters here, which, let's have a think, where would they have been? I'm guessing the cloisters would have probably been over there. I don't know that for sure. If anyone wants to comment and confirm, I'd be very happy to hear from you. Because on the whole, I believe most cloisters were south of the Abbey church. There's a few exceptions, Dorchester Abbey in Oxfordshire being one, where the cloisters were north of the church. There's one or two others I just found down there in the snow. You can see that it says chancel. So we are standing in the chancel. So imagine arches all around me, looking back down the grand church. So I hope you enjoyed this video on this very cold day at St Mary's Abbey in York and the Yorkshire Museum Gardens. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.